You possess the potential to transform your life, to shatter limitations and step into a future that aligns with the fullest version of yourself. Every person walking the planet has been given a unique set of talents, experiences, and challenges, and it's easy to look at others and assume they're the ones destined for greatness. But why not you? Why shouldn't you be the one who achieves extraordinary things? When we strip away the distractions, the doubts, and the fears, what remains is this fundamental truth. You are capable, you are resilient, and you are built to grow. From a young age, you were likely taught to conform, to follow rules, to play it safe. You were encouraged to fit in, to color inside the lines, and to avoid standing out too much. Yet the people who achieve remarkable things are often the ones who dare to ask themselves the hard question, why not me? Why shouldn't I be the one to break barriers, to defy expectations, to achieve something unprecedented? It's not arrogance to believe in your potential, it's necessity. Every single breakthrough, every innovation, every meaningful contribution to humanity has come from individuals who dared to believe that they were capable of more. Belief alone, though, is not enough. You must couple belief with action, with an unwavering commitment to grow, learn, and adapt. You must embrace the discomfort that comes with stepping beyond your comfort zone. Every time you feel fear creeping in, fear of failure, fear of embarrassment, fear of the unknown, that's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to lean into the fear rather than shrink back. When you ask yourself, why not me? You're opening the door to possibility, and with that comes the responsibility to act. Self-doubt is a formidable adversary. It whispers insidious lies that tell you you're not smart enough, not strong enough, not lucky enough. But self-doubt has no real power unless you give it power. The truth is, nobody starts at the finish line. The people you admire, the ones who seem to have it all figured out, were once beginners. They made mistakes. They failed. They doubted themselves. But what set them apart was the decision to keep moving forward, to keep asking, why not me? And to keep pushing through the resistance. You don't need permission to chase your dreams. You don't need someone to tap you on the shoulder and tell you you're ready. You're ready when you decide you're ready. And that readiness doesn't come from external validation. It comes from within. It's a quiet but powerful conviction that says, I can do this, even if I don't have it all figured out yet. The willingness to step forward despite uncertainty is what differentiates the doers from the dreamers. It's easy to sit back and admire others who have achieved what you desire. It's easy to rationalize their success by attributing it to luck, timing, or connections. But the real question is, how many times did they fail before they succeeded? How many times did they face rejection, ridicule, or setbacks, and yet kept moving forward? The difference between them and everyone else wasn't superior talent or privilege. It was the relentless pursuit of their goals. It was the refusal to let temporary defeat define them. It was the unshakable belief that their vision was worth fighting for. Your potential isn't capped by your circumstances. It isn't limited by your background, your education, or your current situation. What limits your potential is the story you tell yourself about what's possible. If you tell yourself you're destined to struggle, to stay stuck, to never break through, then that will become your reality. But if you shift your narrative, if you tell yourself that you are capable of growth, of overcoming obstacles, of building a life that reflects your deepest aspirations, then you'll begin to see opportunities where others see barriers. That doesn't mean the path will be easy. Growth is uncomfortable. It requires you to confront parts of yourself you'd rather avoid. It demands discipline, sacrifice, and resilience. But it also brings rewards far greater than the temporary discomfort of change. Each step you take toward your goals, each challenge you face and overcome, builds momentum. Over time, the small daily actions, getting up earlier, investing in learning, pushing yourself in workouts, nurturing relationships, honing skills, compound into a transformed life. You don't have to wait for the perfect moment to start. There will never be a perfect moment. Life will always present distractions, setbacks, and reasons to delay. But waiting for the stars to align is just another way to let fear dictate your choices. The only thing you can control is your decision to act now. The question isn't whether you're ready. The question is whether you're willing to become ready. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't isn't talent or luck. It's action. It's the decision to show up day after day, even when motivation wanes. You have the tools within you to make a change. The world is full of resources, knowledge, and opportunities waiting to be seized. But none of that matters if you don't believe you're worthy of more. You must first give yourself permission to dream big, to envision a future where you're living a life of purpose and fulfillment. Then, you must translate that vision into concrete steps. Write down your goals. Break them into actionable pieces. Hold yourself accountable. Seek out mentors, books, courses, and experiences that challenge you to grow. Along the way, you'll encounter resistance, internal and external. People may doubt you. They may question your choices or try to discourage you. That's normal. But remember, the only opinion that ultimately matters is yours. You are the architect of your life. You get to decide how far you'll go, how hard you'll push, and how much you're willing to invest in your future. When you ask yourself, why not me? You're not just challenging the world, you're challenging yourself. You're daring yourself to rise above mediocrity, to reject the limits imposed by fear, and to claim the life you are meant to live. It's a question that ignites the spark of possibility, a question that demands a response not just in words but in action. Each day is a new chance to prove to yourself that you are worthy of more. And it all begins with that simple, powerful question: why not you? The idea that your greatest opponent is you strikes at the core of personal transformation. It is an invitation to look inward, a mirror reflecting the battles we fight every day, often invisible to the world, but monumental in shaping our lives. This concept is not about external forces, circumstances, or the actions of others. It's about the internal dialogue that shapes our actions, beliefs, and ultimately our destiny. Many people spend their lives blaming external conditions for their stagnation. They point to economic hardship, a lack of opportunities, or unsupportive environments. While these factors can certainly make the journey more challenging, the real battle is often internal. The voice inside that says, "You're not good enough. You can't do this," or "Someone else is more qualified," is the voice that needs to be confronted. Until that voice is silenced, no amount of external progress will feel satisfying or sustainable. This inner resistance manifests in countless ways. It can show up as procrastination, where the mind conjures up distractions or convinces you to delay action on your goals. It might appear as self-doubt, eroding your confidence every time you consider taking a bold step forward. It might also reveal itself as fear. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, or even fear of success. These forms of resistance are powerful because they are subtle, often masquerading as logical or reasonable thoughts. The challenge is recognizing them for what they are: internal barriers designed to keep you in your comfort zone. Recognizing that you are your greatest opponent is a liberating realization because it shifts the focus from blaming circumstances to taking responsibility. It means that the power to change your life lies not in waiting for the right moment or external validation, but in confronting the self-imposed limitations. This is not about dismissing the real difficulties of life. It's about refusing to let them define you. When you own the fact that your internal dialogue is shaping your reality, you reclaim the power to change that narrative. There's an undeniable link between the stories we tell ourselves and the actions we take. If you tell yourself you're not capable, your actions will reflect hesitation and half-hearted efforts. If you tell yourself you're a person of value and potential, your actions will be bolder, more intentional, and more resilient in the face of setbacks. This is why it's crucial to confront the negative scripts running through your mind. Challenge them, question them, replace them with narratives that empower you. The notion of being your greatest opponent also implies that you are simultaneously your greatest ally. This duality is at the heart of human potential. The same mind that can convince you to stay small can also inspire you to reach heights you never imagined. The key is learning to shift the internal conversation. Instead of "why me?" ask "why not me?" Instead of "I can't," say "I'll find a way." These shifts in mindset are not just motivational slogans. They are strategies for rewiring the brain, building resilience, and opening pathways to growth. One of the most significant tools for overcoming internal opposition is awareness. Begin to observe your thoughts and recognize patterns. When you catch yourself thinking in ways that limit your potential, pause and ask, is this thought helping me or hindering me? Over time, this practice of mindful observation creates space between the thought and the action, allowing you to choose responses that align with your goals rather than old patterns of fear and resistance. Another essential strategy is to set small, achievable goals that build confidence over time. Taking action, no matter how small, creates momentum. Momentum creates evidence. and evidence builds belief. When you start proving to yourself, through consistent action, that you can follow through and make progress, the internal resistance weakens. Confidence grows not from grand declarations but from accumulated small wins that reinforce the belief that you are capable. Surrounding yourself with people who challenge and uplift you can also counteract the internal opposition. While the battle is ultimately within, the right environment can provide reinforcement. Seek out mentors, friends, and communities that believe in growth and hold you accountable to your potential. Their perspectives can help you see beyond the limitations you've set for yourself and remind you of what's possible. Consistency is another vital aspect of overcoming internal opposition. The mind will continue to test you with doubt and fear, especially when you step outside your comfort zone. Consistency in action, in mindset shifts, and in the pursuit of your goals trains your mind to expect and accept growth. It creates a new normal where boldness replaces hesitation, where perseverance replaces procrastination. This journey also requires self-compassion. Being your greatest opponent doesn't mean waging war against yourself. It means recognizing your humanity, your fears, and your flaws with empathy. It means understanding that setbacks and failures are part of the process, not indicators of inadequacy. When you approach yourself with compassion, you create an environment where growth is nurtured rather than stifled by self-criticism. Internal opposition is not a flaw. It's part of the human experience. It exists because growth is uncomfortable. It challenges the status quo of who you are and what you believe you're capable of. But it is in facing this internal resistance, in pushing back against the voice that tells you to stay small, that true transformation happens. Every step you take to confront your inner barriers, every decision you make to believe in yourself despite the doubts, is a victory. At the end of the day, the question isn't whether external circumstances will change. The real question is whether you are willing to change the way you see yourself and the stories you believe. The moment you decide to challenge the internal voice that says, "You can't," is the moment you open the door to possibility. When you recognize that the only true obstacle is the one in your mind, you begin to unlock the potential for a life that is not defined by limitations, but by the courage to move beyond them. You are the single biggest factor standing between where you are right now and where you want to be. No one else holds as much power over your progress as you do. It's not your environment, it's not your circumstances, it's not your background or your upbringing. It's the mindset you carry, the choices you make, and the story you tell yourself every day. Every time you hesitate, every time you talk yourself out of a dream or settle for less, it's because you've allowed fear, doubt, or excuses to control your actions. The harsh truth is, no one is going to hand you success on a silver platter. The path is yours to forge, and only you can decide whether to walk it with purpose or stay stuck in place. You might think your situation is unique, that others have it easier or started with more advantages. That's just the noise designed to keep you small and comfortable. Comfort zones are prisons disguised as safety nets. Staying inside them feels safe, but it suffocates growth and kills potential. What you have to understand is that everyone who's ever achieved greatness faced obstacles, doubted themselves, and experienced fear. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not luck or special talent. It's the refusal to let fear win. When you doubt yourself, it's not because you lack ability. It's because you haven't fully committed to your vision. Doubt is a natural human emotion, but it's also a sign that you're moving towards something meaningful. It means you're about to grow, stretch, and break through your old limits. Instead of seeing doubt as a warning to stop, treat it like a signal to push harder. If you can talk yourself out of trying, you can also talk yourself into trying. That inner dialogue shapes your reality. The conversations you have in your mind determine the actions you take and the results you get. So, the question isn't whether you're scared or uncertain, it's whether you're willing to step forward anyway. Excuses are the easy way out. They provide a convenient explanation for why you haven't started, why you're not further along, or why now isn't the right time. But excuses are lies you tell yourself to avoid responsibility. They keep you locked in a place of inaction and regret. The moment you stop making excuses and start owning your power is the moment you take control of your life. Ownership means acknowledging that you may not have control over everything, but you do have control over your response. You have the power to choose your attitude, your effort, and your persistence. When you own your choices, you stop playing the victim and start becoming the architect of your future. It's important to understand that you don't need permission to pursue your dreams. No one has to approve your ambitions or validate your worth. Waiting for others to believe in you before you take action is a trap that will keep you waiting forever. You have everything inside you to begin right now. Your talents, your ideas, your passion, they're enough. You don't have to be perfect or have all the answers to take the first step. Progress is born out of imperfect action, learning as you go and refusing to quit when things get tough. Fear is often disguised as reason. When you say, "I'm not ready," or "I don't know how," what you're really expressing is fear of failure or fear of judgment. But fear is a liar that thrives on inaction. The only way to kill fear is to face it head on. Action reduces fear. The more you move forward, even if it's just a small step, the smaller fear becomes. Taking risks is uncomfortable, yes, but it's necessary for growth. Waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect plan means you'll never start. The perfect moment doesn't exist. If you want to change your life, you have to be willing to step into uncertainty and discomfort. Remember, the journey to success is not a straight line. There will be setbacks, mistakes, and failures. Those are not signs that you should quit. They're evidence that you're trying. Every failure brings you closer to the knowledge and experience you need to succeed. The people who accomplish great things are the ones who persist through failure and use it as fuel. When you embrace failure as part of the process, you remove its power to stop you. Instead of fearing failure, learn to see it as feedback, a necessary step toward mastery and achievement. Self-belief is the foundation of any success story. Without it, you will constantly sabotage your own efforts. Building belief in yourself isn't about arrogance or thinking you're better than others. It's about recognizing your value, trusting your instincts, and refusing to settle for less than you deserve. Belief is a muscle that grows stronger the more you use it. Surround yourself with positivity, affirm your strengths daily, and focus on progress instead of perfection. The small wins, the consistent efforts, and the refusal to give up build unshakable confidence. It's also crucial to shift your focus from what you lack to what you have. Too often, people get stuck comparing themselves to others and measuring their worth by external standards. That mindset breeds insecurity and discouragement. Instead, appreciate your unique qualities, skills, and experiences. Your journey is different from anyone else's, and that is your advantage. When you embrace your individuality, you unlock creativity and resilience that no one else can replicate. Finally, the question you have to keep asking yourself is not why me, but why not me? Why not you to be the one who breaks the mold? Why not you to reach the goals that seem impossible? Why not you to inspire others by showing what's possible when you refuse to quit? The power to change your life has always been inside you. The only thing standing in the way is the choice to believe it and act on it. No one else can live your life or chase your dreams. The moment you decide to take responsibility and believe in your potential, you set in motion a force that can transform everything.